Thanks, everyone. It's my great pleasure to present my paper, The Welfare Effects of Selling Leads in the Two-Sided Marketplace. So I'm going to first cover the background and contributions before getting to the model and results. So as background, let me talk about 4 ways of how two-sided marketplaces make money. One way is by commission or transaction fees. But this requires observing transactions. Another way marketplaces make money is by advertising. This requires a high volume of traffic. Other platforms charge subscription fees, but this requires users feeling a need to frequently use the platform. And what this paper will be talking about will be platforms that sell leads. So this is charging an introduction fee to the service provider for being connected to the customer. And many of these examples, NG Bar, Google Local Services, HomeAdvisor, Modernize, Forge, and Thumbtack are in this home services industry. This is like finding contractors. So these are platforms that help customers find plumbers or general contractors. And you imagine if I'm trying to find a plumber, it's hard to observe the transactions because once the plumber comes to my house, they can just pay me by cash. They will never need to tell the platform, and the platform cannot charge commission to a plumber because no one will say I fixed your plumbing, and the platform cannot do advertising because the volume of traffic is not that high. You don't fix your remodel your home every day, and then also it's hard for platforms to charge subscription fees. So certain industries like home services, it necessitates this model of selling leads, and I'll be analyzing this model. And the same model is also used bank-rate lending tree that's like online mortgages and life insurance. But let's focus first on HomeAdvisor to give you a sense of what a typical platform that sells leads look like. So if I go to the HomeAdvisor website and type remodel a kitchen, the platform asks me a bunch of questions. So what's my zip code? What do I want to do about the floor plan, the cabinets, countertops? There are more questions that I'm omitting. What about your timing? Any other descriptions? And at this point, the customer will input their phone number and email address. And when the customer clicks the orange button, View Matching Pros, the platform connects the customer with up to 4 pros who immediately contact the customer to give a quote. So the contractor, the remodeler will call me and then come set up a time to my home to check out my kitchen and give a quote. So the point is, after this point, when the customer clicks this button, the provider is charged. Everything else happens off of the platform. It's like a platform disintermediation because they come to my home. They don't need to go through the platform anyway. So this is the difference between selling leads and commissions. Commissions is only when the job happens, there's the payment. But this is a payment for introducing you to the customer, regardless of what the customer does. And so these questionnaires separates pros into different types, separates customers into different types. One type of customers are people who want to repair their toilet. Another type might be people looking for like a kitchen remodel with no floor plan changes. So from a pro's perspective, given the platform's fee per lead for each type of customers, so a small plumbing repair might be $10 for this lead. A home remodel might be more than $100. A pro will decide which customer types to target, what kind of leads I want, how many leads to purchase per month, what price is to quote for the customers. So once I come to your home and quote for your kitchen, am I going to charge you a lot or a little bit? That's different from the fee per lead. The fee per lead is the price, the $100 I pay to the platform. But once I come to the kitchen, I charge you $30,000 for the remodel. And so from a pro's profit maximizing perspective, imagine I'm a roofer and say I can do 3 roofs per month. Let's just say. So because of my limited capacity, my net profit is really my net profit per job. For each roof I do, how much money I can earn. And there's a trade-off here. gross profit and the fees paid to the platform. Gross profit is the money I collect from the customer. The fee is all the fees I need to buy these leads. And the key trade-off that I'll be analyzing theoretically is when I go to the customer, do I quote a higher price or lower price? If I choose a higher price, I get more gross profit per job. But I need to buy more leads because I'm less competitive. But if I charge a lower price, I get less money from the customer, but I'm a more attractive pro. I'm cheaper for them. So I don't need to buy so many leads to get one job. So there's this trade-off. Is it better to have higher gross profit but subtract higher fees, or less gross profit or subtract less fees? That's the key trade-off I want you to keep in mind. This will be a slide I'll come back to later. So this is the research question. How do the prices of leads on the platform that sell leads affect customer surplus, pro surplus, and platform revenue? And the sum of customer surplus, pro surplus, and platform revenue is social welfare. And the contributions of this paper is in showing that raising the fee per lead for customer type induces pros who buy such leads to quote lower prices. So if leads are cheap, I might get a lot of customers and quote them a lot. But if it costs me $100 to get a customer, conditional I spend that $100 to get a customer, I'm going to try to win that customer. I call them immediately and I quote a good price. So when the platform increases its fees, providers actually lower their prices. But when fees are higher, pros may buy fewer leads, switch customer types, or exit the platform. The single policy of charging a market clearing fee for every customer type guarantees at least 79% of the social welfare under the welfare optimal fees, which could be very complex. Welfare optimal fees might require estimating some model and then do some crazy optimization. Market clearing fee, much simpler. You can get 79% of the social welfare and at least 58% of the first best welfare, where first best means that it's like an omniscient social planner who controls every customer and every provider. This single policy is competitive with respect to that. And finally, the first best welfare can actually be achieved if, in addition to charging these market clearing fees, the platform pays pros additional subsidies for jobs well done, so that experienced pros do not exit. This I will talk about later. Yes?
Why are no auctions used?
Oh, and you could imagine this market clearing fee as the outcome of a market clearing auction. So for typically in markets like advertising, there's a lot of idiosyncrasies, and then people are bidding on millions of things. But here, like a plumber for Los Angeles, it's kind of stable. They could potentially do an auction, but it's just simpler just to do $20. You imagine if the price doesn't fluctuate that much, just charging $20 is easier than doing an auction. But you can think of one way of implementing market clearing fee is to run some auction for customers.
Just for instance, the platform though,
Yes.
sets this fee.
The platform sets
It's not the pros say.
Yes, the platform decides the fee, and then the pros decide how many customers I want to buy using that fee. And once I buy the customer, that's my customer. I go to your house, I charge the customer separately, and that's happening downstream.
Okay, so this is your recommendation that one could implement your recommendation by saying, oh, these platforms should use auctions.
They could use auction, but actually what Home Advisor is actually currently doing, it's not too far from market clearing fee. So this is like what they're currently implementing is a theoretical justification for what they're currently implementing.
So is the platform a monopolist?
No, there's, remember in the beginning, I said there's so many different, in real life, they're not a monopolist. Sure. In this, I'm considering one platform. So I'm imagining
considering one
platform, but there are outside options.
Yeah.
And what does market clearing mean here?
Market clearing means, so I will talk about that later, but market clearing is, there's customers who want remodeling. Say 1,000 customers a month come to my platform. Say I connect each one with 4 pros, so I can have up to 400 leads, so to speak. If these are like $10, many people want these customers, the demand for this will be very high. And market clearing means that the demand for leads is equal to the supply of leads. The number of customers who come to my platform, that's the supply, is equal to the aggregate demand for such customers. If customers are the fee is high, demand is low. Fee is low, demand is high, and trying to balance this. I'll have a graph later to describe it. Yes,
The floor per customer as given.
yes. Okay, let me talk now about the model to make things more clear. So I'm going to talk about the perspective customers, pros, and the platform, and the relationship to literature. So from a customer's perspective, the customer's perspective are the end customer type. So one customer type could be people who want kitchen remodel with no floor plan changes. Each has arrival rate, so 100 customers like that arrives per month. And then there's many pros with heterogeneous capabilities and small capacities. For remodeling, it's not like one contractor can serve all of a city, but they have relatively small capacities. Each customer can be recommended to a fixed number of pros, exogenously given. For the purpose of this talk, think of this fixed number as 4, which is what Home Advisor does for all customer types. A customer C of a particular type T, when she is recommended these 4 pros, chooses among these 4 pros based on the following choice model, where the utility of the customer C for the pro is based on the attractiveness of the pro, which also depends on the customer segment, minus the price they quote, plus some idiosyncratic preferences. And these idiosyncratic preferences are drawn from some distribution, which could depend on the type of the customer. And customer have an outside option modeling. I just don't do the job, or I go with another contractor, maybe on another platform, or someone I know. And 2 key assumptions that I'll revisit, I'll talk about is these 2 things in blue, that this distribution of idiosyncratic preferences only depends on the segment of the customer, but doesn't depend on the provider. So it's like a normal noise for everyone, normal 0, 1, but the variance doesn't depend on the provider. And also G and H have log concave distribution. So that includes normal, uniform, exponential, Gumbel, independent sums of log concave distributions. Many distributions are covered in this. So from the pros perspective, this is the same slide that I highlighted before with some notation. So the fee per lead for customer type T is FT. Because pros have small capacities, it's optimal for them just to pick one type of customer to target. So they just choose one type to target because they cannot serve everyone. They just pick the best type to target. And they decide how many leads to purchase per month. That's the rate, delta. What price to quote, and that drives this gross profit. If I quote higher price, I earn higher gross profit. But the gross profit, this pie also affects my conversion rate. So if I charge high prices, I'm going to get low conversion rates. If I charge low prices, I'll get high conversion rates. When more people, conversion rate is conditional on me being recommended. What's the chance the customer chooses me? And the fee paid to the platform is intricately related with this conversion rate because it's the fee per lead multiplied by the number of leads I need to purchase to win one conversion, which is 1 divided by the conversion rate. The conversion rate is 1/3. I need to, in expectation, buy 3 leads to win 1 customer. So F times 3. That's how many leads I need to buy. So that's the model. And based on the 2 assumptions on the previous slide that I highlighted, there's some structure to this. One is that this will be a concave function in high, so you can, there's a unique solution, it's well defined. And another thing is that in equilibrium, when every pro is solving this problem, the price adjusted attractiveness, so that's the attractiveness A of the pro minus the price they charge. is identical among all pros who target this type of customers. What this means is, even though in my model, I have some people who are suitable for this type of customers, some people who are less attractive, the more attractive people will charge a higher price. The less attractive people will charge a lower price, so that cancels out the differences in attractiveness, so that from an ex-ante perspective, remember the utilities attractiveness minus price plus the idiosyncratic. The attractive minus price, that is identical. So that makes the platform's matching decision very easy. I can just recommend any random four, they're all the same. And so what the platform can focus on is the pricing decision. So here's the graph I talked about before. Now I'm going to define this market clearing, and so the supply of leads, that's how many customers I get, that's constant, doesn't depend on the fee. The demand is downward sloping. And in this regime, when the fee is high, demand is less than supply. That means some customers are unmatched because not enough pros want to buy up all the customer leads. In this regime, the demand is higher than supply. So here, many contractors want customers, but not enough customers to go around. And I assume that there's an exogenously given priority score S, and the pros with the best priority scores are allocated leads. You can think of this priority score like reputation on the platform or seniority or any other way that the platform uses to break ties when too many people want customers and not enough customer leads to satisfy everyone. And market clearing fee is this fee that makes demand equal to supply. And most of the analysis is on this regime. And due to time, I'm gonna jump over the relationship to literature. Basically, it's related with online advertising, but the difference is in online advertising papers, people assume there's an exogenous willingness to pay and exogenous budget. But this paper endogenizes those things. It's the match recommendation literature, but this paper shows these good recommendations can arise endogenously by charging a fee per lead without doing some complex estimation and optimization. And it's related with other models of fees, but this paper is the first theoretical analysis of the fee per lead model and the induced social welfare. Okay, so let me now briefly talk about the three results that I talked about in the contribution slide. So first, the nuanced effect of adjusting the fee per lead. So the theorem is that the following graph will qualitatively describe the effects of adjusting the fee per lead for given customer type in any marketplace. So the blue here is for customer, orange is for providers. The top graph is the average surplus per match. So conditional on being matched, customers like high fees because the high fees make the pros more motivated. If I have to pay $100 to get you, I'm going to call you immediately and charge good prices to you. However, the high fees make it so that many pros exit because I don't want to pay $100. Then the match probability of customers is lower when the fee is high. On the other hand, pros like lower fees, but when the fee is too low, not every pro can get matched because this priority cutoff, this is like what reputation do I need to get leads if there's too many people who want leads. So the point is increasing the fee makes pro quote lower prices, which benefits the matched customers, the people who get recommendations, but more customers may be unmatched. Too high a fee results in pro attrition and unmatched customers. And too low a fee results in low customer satisfaction due to uncompetitive prices. So a good trade-off would be the market clearing fee. And it's the case when you have only one lead type, that market clearing fee is always welfare maximizing, and revenue and customer surplus are maximized at high fees, and pro surplus is maximized at low fees. But that's the result with one lead type. When there are multiple lead types, it turns out that the worst case ratio between the social welfare under market clearing fees and under some welfare optimal fees is at least 0.79. This welfare optimal could be very complex. And comparing with the first best, which is the platform controls every customer and every pro and knows everything, you can still get at least 58%, and these are high worst case bounds, meaning I can construct markets to achieve exactly these bounds. So the point is, when transactions are unobservable, selling these using market clearing fees is reasonable to generate good matches. I don't need to estimate any distribution. I just fiddle with fees until supply equal to demand, and I could endogenously get the right contractors to the right customers. And finally, if in addition to charging market clearing fees, if the platform also pays pros a subsidy upon each service request, then it can always achieve the first class welfare with appropriate subsidies. What's going on here is, so market clearing fees can be efficient, but if it costs me $100 to get a customer and I'm a good contractor, I'm not going to participate. I already get customers. I don't need to pay you $100 to get me a customer, or I will choose to target some customer type that's cheaper. So the fees will distort pros targeting and entry decisions. That's why there's this inefficiency. But appropriate subsidies can eliminate such distortions. But you have to be careful how to subsidize. So to retain pros, the platform should not discount leads, because if I make leads cheap for you, you're just going to charge high prices and get a lot of customers. Rather, you should reward pros for jobs well done. So that means if you get a good review, I pay you $400. And if I'm a good pro, I can win customers pretty easily. So I will pay you $100 per customer, but I will get enough good reviews so that it's worth it for me to participate. But if I'm a bad pro, I can't get good reviews fast enough to make it worthwhile, so then I just leave. So that's welfare enhancing, and that concludes my talk. The full paper is on SSRM. Thank you very much.